We both are runners, and we're always kind of in the lookout for different races. We don't typically do distance races, but it turned out that the marathon, the Paris International Marathon, which occurs annually, it's the largest marathon by people that run it, was happening the weekend before a conference. So we said, wouldn't that be great? And we checked to see if there was any availability. It was a bit on a whim, but there was space open. Farid and I signed up.
Distances are increasing for the training that we have to do, and it's hard to justify putting in 15 kilometers per hour when you have a number of things that you need to do for work and your research projects that are on the line and they have to get done.
I personally can be receiving calls about patients and have to take several calls during long runs, and having to refocus on what was going on with the patient and then going back to training. So I think that has tested our limits. Our limits have been tested by the weather. I've never been so obsessed with checking wind reports and temperature reports. Monday seemed like it was going to be a good day for a run. Before you know it, it started off in the positives, and by the end of our 2-hour or so run, the wind chill was well into the -7 range, and both of our hands were frozen, and we had some difficulty even opening up some of the nutrition that we brought with us. The course itself is actually a bit challenging. It's not that hilly, but there's some uneven terrain with some cobblestones, some narrow passageways, and there's about 55,000 people that are going to be on this course. So navigating around the runners, it can also be a challenge. So we're preparing for all of these things, but unfortunately you can't prepare for everything, so we'll see how it goes. And there'll be a fair bit of adaptation that's going to have to go on in order to meet our goal. 50 kilometers rather than 3. I guess much more gradual is fine.
Nothing unusual distance. First thing that I ever heard was her catchphrase, "Your life is worth 1 hour a day." I fell in love with that phrase, and it just resonates so well with everybody's life. Whether it's just eating healthy or being active, it all counts. And so that's something that inspires me in my training now for this marathon.
It always impressed upon me how busy she was clinically, how busy she was from a research perspective, and in fact how she was still able to train for some of these missions. And her training was grueling. It always impressed me that she can manage to pull all of this off while still taking extremely good care of her patients, and I think she provided an excellent role model. So on the days when I say to myself, how can I possibly do all of this, I do think about the fact that about what she's been able to accomplish and say, all right, well let's test our limits.